Well, good morning, good evening there, my friends from Essential Stencil. It's Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff, ready for another DIY fun live today. So if you're joining me on the replay, make sure you comment the word replay because Essential Stencil will pick prize winners from those in the 24 hours after we go live. So there's that. But as you're jumping on here today, let me know where you're watching from. Just going to do a refresh here on my computer so I can see your comments. And Barbara's here already. Hello everybody. And I've got my little prompting board. I literally made this 5 minutes ago. I whacked some black paint on it, chalk paint. Well, it's actually fusion mineral paint in coal black because it kind of is a matte finish and acts really good like a chalkboard. So I've got my little prompt board here to remember to do this and sprinkle what you're seeing today, and then use my code I Restore Stuff. And here at I Restore Stuff is where you can find me on all of my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and all of the rest, TikTok even, Pinterest, YouTube. Hi Rhonda, Sandy's here, Janice is here, George is here. Awesome to see you all. Let's see if I can find my thingy here. Here we go. Comments, where are we? There you go. Hi Nancy, hi Abby, and Peggy's here. Thank you Cindy for sprinkling. That's awesome. Now there's a few little announcements I wanted to make today, and you may have seen some of the other ambassadors. I think we've had Amanda and then Melissa this week, and I'm here with you today as an ambassador for Essential Stencil, and we are so excited that we have received some product that Essential Stencil is releasing tomorrow. No, tomorrow for me. Sorry, I'm in Australia, so it's Thursday. Friday for you guys, okay? Friday is tomorrow for me, but Friday for you. The brand new bundle is going to be available for pre-order, and it is Southwest themed, and there's some outdoor kind of stuff. So I wanted to show you some of that today. And I get to show you some of those stencil packs, but I also wanted to remind you of the Stencil of the Month Club that is also still going. You've got about 7 days left to get this June set, which is fantastic. Let me show you. I will be showing you something from this today, so show you that in a minute. But use my code I Restore Stuff if you're new to stenciling and you'd love to join a unique club that is so fun because you receive lots of stencils every month. Then join the Stencil of the Month Club for 50% off your first month using my code I Restore Stuff. That's I Restore Stuff, just like that. So use that code, you get 50% off your first month. And if you use that same code on any of the stencil products, including the brand new launch of the Southwestern Outdoor, is that what they're calling it? Southwestern and Outdoor Bundle, that you'll see coming up soon. I'm going to show you those things. If you use my code on that, you'll get a 10% off on top of the already bundled special price. So that's coming up. So stay tuned for Friday. Watch your inbox or just jump onto essentialstencil.com on Friday and you'll be able to purchase this bundle. Now this bundle has some bonuses, including a brand new transfer that I don't have. I didn't get the transfer yet, so that's coming. But if you've seen, the link is right there in the description of the live for the bundle, and it's bird cage and birds transfers, guys. I'm so excited about that one. The other bonus in the bundle will be the stencil bridge brush set. You might have seen Melissa using this week. I'm pretty sure she used those on her live. Nice, beautiful, fine tipped, so fine. In fact, they can be used not just for stenciling in your bridges on your lettering, but other things that you can just do some fine painting with. So there's that. Here's something else that'll be in the, I didn't put these in any particular order. So there's some that are Southwestern themed. We've got some beautiful cafe, kitchen-y kind of signs in Spanish, and we've got Live Love Lake 3-pack stencil set with some gorgeous lake themed stencils. We've got Howdy Y'all, gorgeous porch leaner in these Western style letters. Yeah, Bronwyn's talking about the bird transfers. They do look so beautiful. Yep, I'm excited about the new brushes too. There we go. Rhonda says, yes, can I order individual ones? Yes, you can. So you don't have to buy the bundle. You can buy them individually as well, but the bundle will save you, I don't know how much, a certain percentage. And if you use my code I Restore Stuff, you'll get some more percentage off that as well. So then there's this some more lake life stencils in this pack. Decks, docks, and flip-flops. I love this cow print. Now this is a one-piece set, but can you imagine all the fun you could have with this on cushions? You could make cow print cushions, you could make backgrounds for your stencil set, signs, and that kind of thing. Gorgeous cabin. I love this. Cabin, sweet cabin. It's got a huge cabin on the back that you can create a sign with, and you know, you could do that on a long canvas and have the cabin, sweet cabin at the top. There is also another one in there, welcome to our cabin, with a smaller cabin in that. So all of these, you'll see them on that link that's in the description right here of the live, and Essential Stencil will probably put that link up shortly. Now, I don't speak Spanish at all, people, but some of you will. Mi casa es su casa. How did I do? Did I say it correctly? Another gorgeous front porch leaner, 5 foot for 5 foot boards. The cow print background stencil. Yes, everyone's loving that one. Are the new brushes bristles or like a paintbrush? Oh, paintbrushes do have bristles, so I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe you mean like natural bristles. These ones, they appear to be synthetic bristles, which is really good because they're nice and soft and really pointed bristles, and they've got little plastic protectors on them there to protect the bristles. Last couple of stencil sets here. This is a 6-pack of Southwestern Designs. We've got cactus there. We've got all sorts of fun Southwesterns. I can't wait to use those. Actually, I'm going to use some Western ones today on a canvas. This cute deer set and some more wildlife. So that'll be fun to be able to use some of those. I can't wait to see how you guys use some of those if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club. Oh, and I haven't shown you a couple of those, which is these ones. These are the ones I'm going to be using today. This is the Cow Skull and Boots set. Oh, I keep turning it the wrong way because I flipped my camera. And I'm going to use these boots because I think they are really cute on a canvas that I'm going to do soon. And then this set called Wild as the West. So I'll show you what those 6 stencils are in there in just a minute. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for sharing the live and sharing the love around the stencil world. Oh, I've got some other things under here that I might show as well. Oh, and don't forget, now Melissa showed some of these. I can't wait to use these Mexican tiles. I think they're gorgeous and would look absolutely adorable in some of those Mexican colors, the terracotta, the blue and white, and all of that kind of thing. So let me just pop that aside for a minute because I'm going to be using some of those and showing you some fun ideas that you can use. First of all, let's get started on our Stencil of the Month Club. Yes, no problem, Sandy, for showing you those. So don't forget, that is pre-orders available this Friday at essentialstencil.com, and I've got the link right there in the description of the live. I've also added a supply list of everything that I'll be using today in my live. I've got 2 projects on the go, and so I've made a quick little list including the sizes of the canvas and the frame that I'm using today, the paints that I'm using, and so on. So pre-orders start Friday. Essential Stencil has also popped that link in the top there of the comments so that you can see. So the 2 sets that I'll be using today are straight from that set that you can pre-order the bundle on Friday. Use my code I Restore Stuff and share this live. If you have a group or you want to just share it on your personal page, that is great too. All right, let's have a look at our Stencil of the Month Club set for June. Now, 7 days left to order this set before we kick into the July set, which I'm excited to looking forward to because Amanda designed our July set. So this is June, and we've got lots of summer fun. As you can tell, I'm wearing long sleeves today. It is cold here in Queensland, Australia. We are heading into winter. So you guys, meanwhile, are getting ready for fireworks and fun for 4th of July. So we've got that stencil there. It comes with 3 large stencils. So that's one of them. This is another, and we've got some fun sayings, some summer sun. We've got starfish down there, thinking all beach thoughts and pool thoughts, and lots of fun summer things here. Flamingo, chasing sunshine. Look at the watermelon. That'll be great to use. See, you could use this. Every summer has a story, and I thought, you can use that on a sign with a watermelon here and a flamingo up here. All sorts of ideas you can do with that. Hello sunshine, little beach footprints in the sand, sun-kissed, and these leaves. Aren't they cute? Then always on the Stencil of the Month Club, we offer a add-on item. So this month's add-on item are these gorgeous suns that will look great in a background, similar to what they've shown you on here. Now you could do yellow suns on a white background or on a black background like this, and then obviously you've got a sign in the middle, chasing sunshine. Great summer vibes in that one. So that's the Stencil of the Month set. Now you would get delivered this every month if you join the Stencil of the Month Club. There are a few different subscription options there, but if you use my code IRestoreStuff, you will get the first month 50% off. For today's little super duper easy Stencil of the Month Club showcase, I'm going to show you one of my funnest things to do and upcycling ideas is to use old canvas frames. So again, this is just from a canvas. It's got the little hook on the back there. I've removed the canvas and I've stained the timber frame. So then I have just gotten a piece of MDF, just thin MDF, and cut it to the size. You can use a handsaw, or if you have a cutting implement of some kind, you can use that. Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining in and sharing. And oh yeah, Donna says, I love the Stencil of the Month Club. Awesome. So that's what I've done. So I've done that, and my daughter actually gave me this idea. She said, Mum, you could do a tone on tone stencil because I was trying to think of ideas for this particular wording here. I love this font, and I think, again, like I did last week, that retro kind of vintage font, 70s, 60s kind of style. I really like it. So I like that. Boat waves, sun rays, lake days. So I want to use that. So Tori, my daughter, has been studying interior design, and so I love the little things she's learning and coming home with. And she said you could do like a couple of different tones that are similar tones, but one's darker, one's lighter. So I'll show you that today. So there's one tip. You could use any color you like, just using 2 different tones. This is the Fusion Mineral Paint color Little Whale. So I've just used that one as the background. Hopefully this works well, and I've got one dark enough, but I'm going to use Paisley, which is same tone but darker on the blue. So you could use a light yellow background and then dark yellow, like a mustard, in the middle. So I'm going to be doing that today. Let's see how that turns out using my stencil brushes. I've also got a link there for the stencil brushes, because anything from Essential Stencil is 10% off using my code IRestoreStuff. So using Fusion Mineral Paint. Now I do have an affiliate link for Fusion Mineral Paint. If you don't have a local retailer, I would love you to use my link, and I can pop that in the comments, or Essential Stencil might hear me and be able to do that for me. I'm just going to use our tiny brush today. So the Essential Stencil brushes, remember they come in 4 different sizes. And this is the baby one, which is a 1/2 inch size. Hello, Judy. Hi, Maggie. Thanks so much for joining and saying hello. So Paisley is just a slightly darker color. I'm going to point this camera down because you're not seeing everything. In fact, you're probably seeing comments covering up my painting. Okay, so I've just put a board down, which is just a cardboard box, which I can also use for offloading my brushes. So, can't see that in the shot here, can you? So I'm just offloading that onto the edge There's hardly any paint on there, but I'm also going to, let's see, just work that into the bristles and offload as much paint as I can that way. Okay, so let me see if I can get this in the center. I'm just eyeballing this. I could use a tape measure, probably should, but I'm just using this part here. The other thing we could do is use a white shadow to separate that in the background, but I'll just go with this for today. Okay, so I'm using a darker blue and it just gives a nice subtle difference, but it's a different tone than the light blue underneath. You want to have it, you know, I've always said you need to have two different contrasting colours when you're stenciling, with the background and the stencil being the foreground. But this one you've got two different tones, I think you'd call it, or shades of the same tone. Some artists can probably correct me. Oh, Erin says, it sure is addicting almost every time. Oops, I can't read the, there we go. Yes, stenciling and sign making, it can be addictive. I do a lot of furniture painting too, so once you start, you just tend to see other things that you can paint or upcycle. A lot of times we just dispose of things that we could just easily upcycle or bring a new life to. And you might have things lying around in your home, like an old canvas that you don't want anymore, that you could tear the canvas off like I've done for this frame and then create a backboard, make a nice new sign. Yes, it's a healthy addiction. Okay, so I'm just using two different tones, two different shades of blue tone. I've used Little Whale Infusion Mineral Paint as the background, which is a light blue, and then this darker colour is Paisley. And it's not a dark blue, it's just probably a mid-tone, I'd say. Thank you so much for sprinkling, Sonia. It's awesome. Don't forget, guys, we give away prizes on these lives, and Essential Stencil will be picking 3 lucky winners at the end of our live today, so stay tuned. Join in the conversation. It's always fun. Let us know if you have never tried stenciling before. I always love to know if there's new people here watching the lives. So if you're new today, let us know if you've never stenciled before, or maybe you've received some stencils that you've ordered and you're a bit timid to start. Oh, I love it. Look at that, guys. So simple. And it's blue on blue. So I just love the way that that turned out. You could do some white shadowing underneath that if you like, but I think it stands out just beautifully, just like that. So that's just a really simple one featuring our Stencil of the Month Club for June. You've got 7 days left to order that set. Lots of fun summer things that you can mix and match with other things. Now you could add some little starfish down the bottom, or a sun, or your margarita or whatever, and you've got sunglasses up here. But I love the way that this is just simple, a little bit minimalistic if you like. So then I just add my frame. I staple that with a staple gun to the back of the frame that I've just removed the canvas from, and there you have a cute Boat Waves Sunrays Lake Days. Isn't that just easy as? So the affiliate link I've got for Fusion Mineral Paint, I can post that for you. So if you do want that, just let me know in the comments and I can go back afterwards and add that link in there, or Essential Stencil might have that somewhere that they can post that. Don't forget, use my code I Restore Stuff for all of the things. Now, if you wanted to, you could wipe that off straight away. I will do that afterwards so that we can save time and go on to my next fun project, which is featuring some of our brand new, if you've missed the beginning of the live, I talked about that there are some brand new Southwestern and outdoor themed stencils on the way. And it's launching this Friday, so you can get your pre-order this Friday. So I'm going to show some of that today using this large canvas that I just pre-painted this morning and used my hairdryer to make sure it's thoroughly dry before I stencil on it. So this is just a canvas, and I also have, if you're going to ask me for dimensions, just click on the live caption, the description of our live, and I've got a supply list which tells you all the sizes. It's about 12 inches wide. Can't remember the length, but I definitely wrote that in the description. And so the bundle that will be available does also include the bonuses of these little stencil bridge brush set. So you can stencil in the bridges of your stencils. And it also includes the bonus of those bird cage and bird transfers, which are beautiful. Now, I do have some transfers to do on our stenciling, on our canvas today as well, which is going to be fun. Whoops, I missed that one. Someone asked me a question and now it's gone. Oh. My laptop's not even allowing me to scroll back, so if I miss a comment, I do love to go back afterwards though, after the live's finished, and look for your comments. I want these boots, they're not coming out. Here we go. So look at that, these are going to look great. So I decided on a black background because I was thinking of doing a completely different color. Like you could do a red background, like this Fort York red, and then the mustard is what I want to use for the boots. So these are some more fusion mineral paint colors, but I think they go nicely together, those, for that southwestern kind of feel. So I'll be doing the mustard boots, but also I wanted to add some other things. So we've got some sunflower transfers here. If you don't have these transfers, there are so many gorgeous transfers now. Essential Stencil is getting quite the collection, and of course we've got those gorgeous bird cage ones coming out. I did some sunflowers last week on a tray, if you missed that, but they just go so well with this theme, I feel like. So I want to have some sunflowers coming out of the boots here. And also, if you don't have, I know this is fall, but it also, I feel like it's just, that Wild West kind of thing. The pumpkins and sunflowers set, I'm not sure if they're available here either, but they've got some cute branches that I think might also look great coming out of the boot. I forgot the scissors, so just talk amongst yourselves when I just grab them here out of my kitchen drawer. Ta-da! And we're back. So yeah, if you're just joining me, we are showing you some of the stencils from the new collection, and there are going to be other transfers, but here's just some that we'll be using today. So I don't know, I kind of feel like these have that Western lend to that theme. Yes, other people are saying they can't wait to order the Westerns and Southwestern kind of sets, stencils. Okay, so with the transfers, very easy to just cut them out. They're single use, and they come with these little tools that will help you to transfer them on. So the reason I'm cutting these out, we're going to do the transfer first, is because you want those transfers to sit in behind the boots, and so we're going to have to sort of arrange these so that they come out of the boot. So with the sunflower sets, we've got a couple of different ones, but I want the ones with the stems because I feel like it'll lend well to coming out of that. And then we're going to add another stencil up here, some words from one of the little mini sets that is going to be available. So how about that? A sunflower coming out of that way. We could even just throw a sunflower down the bottom if we wanted to. We'll see how that looks in a minute. Now, if you have watched any of my lives before, I do tend to, I don't make things before I try them very often. Sometimes I will just to see how it works, but I don't, you know, do a whole demo myself to see if things work. I kind of experiment with you as we go. So if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. So I love this, how this is looking. We've got some leaves coming up here. You could even make that leaf go around the corner because, you know, that'd work too. Could throw some of these in the background here, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And then I'd have to sort of line up these boots to make sure that's going to work right about there. Then the sign I want to put on the top is Wild as the West. So that will fit perfectly just up here like so. So let's give this a go. First one is this one. So I've got it, maybe I'll use some tape. Where did I add my tape? And that will sort of mark the edge of the boots so that I kind of know where it's coming off, because I've got all this stencil up here, and then that'll give me a bit of an area so I know where we're coming from. So if I put this here, it's going to be around about where I want the boot, and I can always just sort of add a bit more, add it back on and check each time. So we'll see how this goes with layering it on the canvas that I've just painted black. Let's put that going over the edge. So we've got this little tool here. I can't remember if I've done this on canvases before, but I've done it on black paper before, and it goes really nicely on black paper. So the other thing with canvas is you've just got to be a little bit careful that you're not pushing too hard. I should have a book or something underneath it. Again, haven't got one that's about the right. So actually there's one right here. Let me do that. Got a stack of small books. We can see which one might be the right size. I've got this one that looks around about the right size for this idea. See if it sits in the back behind there. Some of these canvases have a bar in the center of them, but this one's not. So yeah, and that'll give you a bit more of a grip for this to go on. Oh, okay, so it's working quite well. Let's see if I can. Yes, I'm putting the flowers in the boot, Maggie. Hopefully that works. That's the idea anyway, and then adding some stencils to it. So this canvas is quite a large one. These the larger stencils are 12 by 16, so I think it's 24 inches, this canvas, going all the way up. You can sort of see as it comes off. I don't know if you're seeing that properly, but this is actually turning out nicely, and sometimes it depends on the surface that you put your transfers on. Sometimes they can come off a little bit more easily than others. I can feel the edge of that book. What's it doing? Oh, turn it around. That's better. And doing the edge here. It's a bit tricky. Thank you guys so much for joining in the conversation, sharing the live. You're always so encouraging. So the paint that I've used on this canvas is Coal Black Infusion Mineral Paint. It's a matte finish. So I'm just going over to the edge of this canvas. It could be a little tricky. And yes, it's being stubborn and some little bits are not coming off like they should. Let's see how we go. Whoop. I'd have to lift it right off. There we go. And then roll it, I'd have to, it's a little bit awkward, some of these situations that we get ourselves in. I don't know, it's a bit of a different feel on the side there. So it just left a tiny bit on the end here, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so now there is a little bit of weird rub lines that it's probably because of my rubbing over that, but I think that that will come off when we when I maybe seal it afterwards. So let's have a look and see how this boot fits here. It'll be coming just out of the boot there. Perfect. Now I look at my sunflower and I think I need it to go around about there because we don't want to cover up the leaf. So just a little bit further. So we take off the paper backing and we place the sunflower around about where we want it. You can layer it over the top of the leaves. This one actually misses it just by a little bit, so that's great. Thank you. Essential Stencil has just popped in there my link for the Fusion Mineral Paint, so if you missed where to get that from, you can use my link there. Okay, let's see how we go with this one. Oh, coming off nicely. So yeah, some people have wondered how the transfers work on a black background. Well, here you go. They actually come out nicely, I think. And I'm thankful that they're coming off quite easily today. Sometimes, just depending on your surface, a little bit rough. Take a little bit more rubbing. And if you see it coming off onto your plastic top cover, then you just have to lay it back down and start again. What's the difference in the mineral paints? Kelly, are you talking about what's the difference between mineral paint and chalk paint, for example? Because there's a few different types of furniture paint, and the main three types are milk paint, chalk paint, and mineral paint. The ones that I've used anyway. I do have a really good blog post on my website. So my website is irestorestuff.com, and in the search bar there you can just type in what's the difference, and it will come up with that blog post about what's the difference between those three different types of paints. So basically chalk paint and milk paint are more porous finishes, still a matte finish, and mineral paint has a built-in top coat. So with the chalk paint and the milk paint, you will have to seal those. I like the way this is turning out. I think I'll have to pop this one that way, and then I can add that there. So let's do this one first because we want the sunflower to be on top. Well, I do anyway. So yeah, if you go onto my blog post, website, so there's also a, oops, concentrate here for a second. There's also a tab on my website, irestorestuff.com, that has on it, the tab says, are you new to painting furniture? Start here. And I basically have all of my best blog posts regarding painting furniture and and decor and things like that. So that's a great place to start if you're new to painting or painting furniture, painting signs. There's all of those tips there you can use for sign making as well. I've also got a YouTube channel with all of my tutorials, and I also upload any of my Essential Stencil demos on there. And so to find any of my links for any of the social media sites, if you go to YouTube and just type in I Restore Stuff, or just, it's really, the ending URL will always be I Restore Stuff. So youtube.com, and then I think it's / I Restore Stuff. Okay, this is turning out great. Rubbing on transfers. And got a book under here because we're using it on a canvas. Hi Tammy. Thanks for coming on. Yes, if you missed the beginning, I was showing you, you can go back and watch the replay after the live's finished. Showing you all the different new stencil sets that will be coming out on Friday with the Southwestern outdoor theme. So there's lake stencils, gorgeous summer type stencils. Let's go from this way. And Southwestern theme. Some Mexican themed stuff, Spanish cafe, kitchen, coffee signs, which will be fun to use. Okay, there we go. So that one, you can see just a faint outline on that there, but it's all come off onto here. And next, I think, let's see if this will go. So we're going to put the flowers are going to be coming out of my mustard colour boots. I think mustard's a great leather colour. I think it's true to the tone. And I love the mustard, the way that that's going to fit in with the sunflowers. So that's going to look great. I'm trying to figure out where to put my little other twig here. Not sure if that will work. Maybe that will go over the top at the end. We'll do our other sunflower first. I probably keep placing my boot in a different place each time, but we've got a roundabout there. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. So we're sort of layering it so that the sunflower peeps out on top of that there. Oop, I'm on that edge of that book that's sitting underneath here. Nearly finished, and then we will add our boot and our words. So I'm going to put some words up here from one of the mini sets that is going to be available on Friday. So Friday, they will be ready for pre-order on Essential Stencils website. And you get your 10% off the whole. So the bundle is, I don't know what the percentage is off. Maybe 20%, maybe 10% if you order the whole bundle. And then if you use my code IRestoreStuff, you'll get a further 10% off. So don't forget to use those codes, guys. Save yourself. And you can order them separately. That was a question that was asked before too. So yes, the flower does. It really just does pop in the background, doesn't it? Now, did we have anyone here? I can't always read the comments, but did anyone say that they're new to stenciling or even new to the transfers and you may not have used them before and not feeling confident? We love to help you in the chat here, so please let us know if you've got any questions about stenciling or using the transfers themselves. The ambassadors would love to help you, but we also have very helpful and some knowledgeable people in the comments watching our lives each time. So feel free to ask away if someone else can't help you in the comments. If I happen to see, oh, Maggie, she's asking if I'm doing the boot in white. No, I'm actually doing it in mustard colour. So I could do a little shadow. We could do some of this in white actually, couldn't we? That might be nice. So I'm just going to see where this one might fit. I think around about there. And it's not going to be too noticeable. It'll just peek out and it's a little, it looks, I was thinking wildflowers would also look great coming out of a boot. Some kind of wildflowers would be also nice. I like the way these, I think that sunflowers are good all year round. I just love them. And also, I noticed in the Spring Peonies transfer set, they've got some other transfers that might also look nice, sort of wildflowery type looking things. And the eucalyptus, little sprigs of eucalyptus, they look lovely too. Okay. This one's not as noticeable because I think it's dark on dark. It just adds a little bit of something. Oh, a lot of work here, guys. But if you've got patience, a little bit of rubbing, depending on your surface. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. And there we go, all done. Okay, so I can remove my marker there. Ooh, I should have tacked it a bit. It feels like it's pulling off some paint. Okay, so our boot now is going to come out of, the flowers are going to come out of the boot. I think we're going to see some of the stems there. And then we're going to add some words up the top here. And just let me move some of my junk, trash, we can throw that later. Scissors. And I'm using the colour Mustard by Fusion Mineral Paint. Just give your paint a good shake before you... Oh. Going to need some extra muscle. If you missed earlier, go back and watch the replay and I'll show you how tips for doing a tone on tone. I think that's what I would call it. All right, so using my, what is this one, 5/8 inch Essential Stencil bristle, natural bristle brush, stencil brush. Those you can also get using my code I Restore Stuff. Let me just move this across a little so you can see. I've got a big blob. If you're new to stenciling, that's not what we want on our brush. We want to offload that as much as we can on the side of the jar. And then also down here, I'm offloading the paint onto my cardboard. So I could tape this down. I'm just going to hold it with my hands. And let's go. So we just do, now because I've got offloaded a lot of the paint off the brush, I'm going to go in a swirly motion. You can do back and forth on these here. Let me just move my book down. I've got a book behind the canvas, which is a great idea for when you need something hard to lean back on. Just going to dip a little bit more, offload it, work it into the bristles. And again, going over here, we may need another coat of this because it looks a bit like it could be needing 2 coats. But it's better to have 2 coats. Moving that across so I can move the book. It's better to have 2 coats rather than 1 thick coat, because if you've got too much on your brush, wanting, you know, you're thinking, oh, I need some more paint on there, it's not enough paint. It's better to do a second coat rather than 1 thick coat, because that paint could bleed under the stencils and then you get fuzzy edges. So I don't know if you can see that. See these little tiny bridges here that our stencil, that helps hold the stencil together, because if those little bridges weren't there, then this whole inside would come out, okay? So it's really important to have them there, but if you don't like the bridges, the bundle will have these bonus stencil bridge brush sets. So they're very fine tipped brushes. You can go over at the end and cover up those bridges. I'll see if I can make that happen today for you. So just give them a bit of a demo. And I've got long lines like this. You can sort of go over the top, but otherwise I just do some gentle swirls. And I feel like this is going to have a second coat, so we'll see how we go. Yeah, a lot of people like to fill in those bridges on their stencils, especially with certain types of lettering. I kind of just leave them because I feel like, oh well, it's just part of the character of having a stencil set, but I can understand that there would be some times where they'd be just have that really clean, crisp, fully filled in line, look like a proper sign. There we go. You could do these a few different colours. We could create some white in there on those designs, which you could go in afterwards and do. So just wanting some nice crisp lines here. I'm moving the canvas around because I have a book underneath the canvas to help create a bit more of a solid base for underneath. Dipping it in every now and then just to offload that brush and add a bit more paint onto the stencil. Nearly finished, and we'll see how that looks, but I think that we may have to do a second coat on these. These boots, these boots were made for walking. All right, you can see see that up here. Yeah, we will see the couple of the stems of the flowers coming under. So if you wanted to, those transfers that I did earlier, you could just cut off those exactly at the top of the boot so it didn't look like you could see them underneath, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. Probably will need 2 coats, so I can go over that again in a minute once that's dried. I'll just set that aside. But how cute is that? Oh my goodness, I love it on the black. That actually doesn't look too bad. I probably will go over with a second coat, but see how it's fairly light coverage? It will work out a little bit better than that. So, okay, let's get our words up the top here. And now we've got Wild as the West. And you know what? I think I might do that shadowing technique today. Let's do that. I know you guys love it when we show you how to shadow. So while I've got that mustard brush that I'm still going to use for the second coat, I will just pop that in a plastic bag so that the tips don't dry out between coats. Okay, and I'm going to use this color casement, white Fusions casement, and a brush. This is the 3/4 inch brush. So dipping it in again and offloading the white on the cardboard, holding this down. I will just tape it so you can see, and we're going to create a shadow. So we want to just move it slightly, and then I'll move it slightly when I go to create the next layer. Okay, so we're doing white as the under bit, as the shadow. When you're doing the shadowing technique, just pick some colors that are going to contrast. So, oh, that's a bit strange. Let's see. The paint looks like it's, maybe because I need that book up here. Let's put my book underneath the canvas. Oh, what have we got? There we go. So that I can make it a solid finish as I can. That's better. It was just not hitting the whole canvas. So I feel like I've still got a little bit too much on my brush, so just going to dip that off there a minute. And the center lines here. Now with shadowing, you could just leave this center part and only shadow the large fonts, but I'm just going to do the whole lot today. Judy says, you haven't usually filled in your bridges. Yeah, I haven't usually either, but then when you get the brushes, you might just see how much a difference it makes, and just gives it a little bit of a extra fine touch. Okay, just a little bit more, remembering to just offload as much as you can. Brush. Yeah, but I'm really loving these Wild West, Southwestern kind of stencils in the set. I can't wait to use, when I receive a whole stencil pack like that, it can be overwhelming because I'm like, I just want to do them all on the first live, you know, but I got to leave some stencils for other lives. Of course, I can also just go live on my own page and do these as well, but in the coming weeks, I am really looking forward to using some of these for you. So we have a shadow here now. Well, that's our shadow, but it does look nice and bright, doesn't it? Wild as the West with the boots down there. But I am going to go over that with the mustard and create a shadow with the white is going to be our shadow, okay? So I'll just leave this here, and while I've got that white, I may even use that to do some of the design in here. I think that would look cute in white. Okay, so going back to our mustard, I'll leave that a little bit of extra time to dry, and if I'm going to use this again, I do need to use my wet cloth and wipe off my stencil. So let me just move this over so we can do that. Oop. If you remove the paint immediately, it should come off fairly easily. But because we're using the stencil again for the shadowing part, we just want to make sure that that's nice and clean and dry. If we get most of it off, because we're using a different color, and so if that mustard then mixes with the white, it'll make it a whole lot lighter, and then it won't match as nearly as well as the boots, which are the mustard color. So we want it to look the same. Always remember to turn your stencil over, because that paint kind of leaks through and goes onto the back of the stencil. So you just got to move it a few times. We'll let that dry. And what we'll do is I'll do this second coat on this one, which will be super quick. And I may just... So you could use those fine brushes to go over these, or you can just do a white brush and go over them. I think I'm going to go around the outside and do this quickly in the mustard. And then I'll use my white brush and go over some of those inside ones. Just gives it a nice solid, more of a solid look. But I love that mustard colour. It just is really leaning well towards that sunflower. It tones in with the sunflowers. It gives it that lovely western leather kind of look. You could use a brown colour, I suppose, or something a bit. You could even use the brown colour if you were doing a white background. Oops, a little bit more. So if you've just joined us, we have done a bunch of things today. We've done some transfers on a black canvas, which turned out really well. You'll be able to see them at the top of this stencil here. Okay, let's see if I can just grab that white brush. And we also, the other thing we did at the beginning of this live is we went over the June Stencil of the Month Club stencil set and created a fun little recycled canvas bit. Okay, so I'm going to do the shadow thing on here, but first I'm just going to have a go at, I'm wiping off this on the edge, putting a bit of white in the middle. Now it is going to look not as white, probably because I haven't washed. Remember how I said, yeah, clean your stencil? Well, I'm not going to do that right now to save time. It's almost 11 o'clock here in Australia, which is, you know, an hour that I've been on. But we're almost done, guys. Don't go anywhere, because we are going to have some prize winners here. Just going to add a bit of white. Let's see how that looks. Now I could use some cardstock or something to, so that I don't, because I don't want to get it on those bits there. Doing it on the inside. Seeing how that works with just a bit of a white design. Could have even shadowed these too, you know. Created a bit of a shadow effect on the boot. Ah, if I had thought of that earlier. I've pretty much missed it, so I could tape off those lines where I don't want the white to go. If you were doing this at home, tape off those lines. Let's see how that looks. And I feel like I should do these little bits in here. Ooh, it's going to be tricky to not get that on the boot. I'll do that later. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I love it. So after the live, I'll go back and finish. Oops, I've got a little low battery mode on my phone going on here. After the live finishes, I'll go back in and do this. But let's finish off by just doing this last bit of shadowing up here using my mustard colour, and then we'll pick some winners and we'll be almost finished. Okay, so I've got the mustard colour, I've got my Wild as the West stencil. To create a shadow, we want to go just up a little bit and across a little bit. So let's do that. We'll stick it down with some painter's tape and away we go. I'm just going to start down the bottom here And we may or may not need to do a second coat on this. We'll have a look how it turns out, but nevertheless I can do that after the live's finished, no problem at all. If you missed any of the beginning of our live where I went over the Stencil of the Month Club set, and I also went over the different stencils in the brand new package that's being released on Friday. Showed you a bunch of those, but the link is right there in the description of the live and pinned to the top here with the comments, where you can have a look at all of them, including the bonus of those bridge brushes, stencil bridge brushes, as well as the bird transfers. I can't wait to get a hold of the bird cage transfers. They just look adorable. Would make some great decor. Yeah, the white really does make it pop, doesn't it? I agree. Okay, I may need to do a second coat on that, but we'll do that after. And let's have a look how that turned out. And I'll also fill in this with a bit of white. And so don't forget, the little bridge brushes would fill in these little bridge gaps right here. So they're very fine tipped brushes. Let me see if I can open that real quick. There we go. See how cute they are. Oops, I lost a little one of the, but see how fine those little tiny tips are. That's going to be so cute. So just grab a little bit of your mustard colour and you would just go over these little bridge bits here. Anyway, wanted to show you this. Let's get ready for that little shadowing. And here is the finished look of our Wild as the West sign with the sunflower transfers. And the other thing we did, so we're going to pick some winners now and get ready. I'll show you what we did at the beginning of our live. So if you missed that one, go and check out how we created that using an old canvas frame and then just a board where we've done blue on blue, tone on tone kind of thing using our June Stencil of the Month set. And then I really love how this turned out, Wild as the West, with the shadowing there. Oops, sorry about the bright light in the background, makes it really difficult to see with the sunflowers. Thank you for all the hearts, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to see who our winners are. Let me just have a look here. Congratulations, our winners. We've got, I've always got to click the see more button to see who they are. Becky, Brandy and Casey, congratulations to those lucky winners today on Essential Stencils Live. And you can also get a chance at winning another prize during the replay. So in the 24 hours after our replay, Essential Stencil will pick another winner. So all of the products and all of the things that I've done on today's live, you'll find in the description of the live right here, so you can go check that out. Go and get ready for Friday when all of these wild, wild west and southern and Mexican and Spanish words and all of the things, and lake, don't forget the lake stuff, and the bird transfers and the brushes. So much, all in one big bundle on Friday, ready for pre-order. Use the code IRestoreStuff. There's my code, and get 10% off additional to the package price. So that is going to be so much fun. I'll see you around at IRestoreStuff or here next week on Essential Stencil Live. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.